as you guys have just recently escaped the clutches of the Valzyre estates. In particular, the head of the household, Azel Vazire, seems to have seen you and made some brief eye contact with his long lost son. And as you are all sort of making your way out of the mansion, you are able to escape without any significant issues. It doesn't look like he really wants to hunt you down with, the lot of you just having killed his new pet. But nonetheless, you can only imagine that this will lead to further complications to your plans. We will pick up with you regathering together within the confines of Adamar's mansion, or his apartment collection, I guess I should say.
Logan, I'd like to just make sure that on our way back, we weren't followed. So if we
Yeah,
could take a route that wasn't just straight home, maybe slithering through the streets and, you know,
sure. Roll
lose
a
anyone
perception
who might
check.
be killing us. All right. I always start the night with bad rolls, always. 11.
Okay. Taking this sort of like long and winding path, you start to notice one individual. He doesn't seem to be like following you directly, but you notice him many times as you're just sort of like wandering through the streets here. He catches your eye because he has this sort of like elongated face and really like dark complexion. He has almost like this gray, dark gray skin. He's like got a hood up most of the time, and he always seems to like glance in your direction whenever you pass him. But he doesn't seem to be following you directly, so you make your way back to the apartments nonetheless.
Do we all see this guy?
I mean, if you point him out, I'm sure other people would notice.
Yeah, I think if I see him a second or especially a third time, I'll say like as we're moving, kind of watching the streets, like anyone recognize that one? That's the third time I've seen him now. And then just kind of move on. I've definitely point him out to the crew.
Okay.
I will. I'm going to kind of stealthily, but yeah, I guess it would be back out. I'm going to kind of tap him in acknowledgement, not look that way. And then I'm going to figure out a way to kind of get eyes on him and kind of fall back from the crowd. And then I'm gonna double back around so that I can sneak up behind him if I have to go around a block or whatever I do.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
14.
14. Okay, yeah, you're able to sort of like peel off, go through a couple of different alleyways in this relatively regularly cut city. It's easy to find an in street here and there, and you sort of get behind him, and now you notice that he's kind of like standing with a bit of a hunch, and you think that if he were to stand up straight, he would be a very, very tall individual. And you're a tall guy, and he would be probably a head taller than you. But he
Oh,
hides it well. He walks sort of naturally with, a lower like center of mass. He seems to be like accustomed to trying to fit in. And I'll also say that since you sneak up behind him, you notice that underneath his hood there are like two protrusions, possibly hiding horns.
I'm gonna follow from a distance, but I want to be able to maybe come wide so I can see what he's looking at. If he's looking, if he's zoned in on the party and seems to be following or tailing.
Okay. He doesn't seem to be following you guys. He just seems to be like wandering around mostly.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I'm gonna watch him for a little bit longer, but I will, unless something happens, I'll eventually peel off and walk past him.
Okay. Easy enough to do. You make your way past. He like looks over in your direction and seems to like lock his eyes on you for longer than would be normal for a typical passerby. But other than that, he makes no effort to speak to you.
Um, if it's like a brief moment longer than normal, then I'm just gonna let it slide. But if it's like a good 2 or 3 second look, then I'm gonna say something to him.
Okay. What do you say?
I'm gonna say, oh, Hello. Do I know you?
He just like glances up, and you see in his eyes, they had this kind of like hazel look to them. They start darkening into a maroon, and he gives you this sort of like wide eyed stare. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw.
18.
Okay. Immediately you're overtaken with this inner rage. Not at him, really, just at the universe, the people around you. And if not for your relatively, strict monk training, you would have just slugged the first guy you saw. And by the time you get a hold of yourself, you see that he's like a few feet away, his hood already pulled up, like walking off.
Okay, I'll say that I kind of zoned out for a second, and I'm like, kind of like I just started pumping some adrenaline,
Mhm.
get a little sweat running down my brow, and then I kind of realized what's going on, and I'm gonna be cognizant of the fact that I'm very down on hit points right now,
Mhm.
pretty beat up, and kind of picking back up on the adrenaline. And I'm gonna look around, and then I'm going to maybe I'm gonna walk back towards the party and Adamar's, but I'm
Mhm.
gonna like want to keep a corner eye on him.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see him again for the rest of your journey home.
What does his face look like?
He has this sort of like I said, like an elongated face. It looked human, but very strange. You did kind of notice his like jaw was seemed like long and like elongated, and like his cheekbones were really high, like almost at his eyes. It seemed like if he is a human, something weird happened to him.
Like kind of canine looking, or
Yeah, a little bit canine.
like the whole lower part of his face was a little bit longer, maybe like ape like?
Yeah, I would say more canine than ape-like by the looks of things.
And was I able to see the horns that I was suspecting?
Just I mean, the hood, covered what they are, but it was clear to you that it might have been like small antlers.
Okay. All right. I'll head back to Adamar's.
Okay. You guys make your way there. Adamar is not home. No one's in the apartments but you.
We can still get in. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he has like magical locks that just open when they see you.
Who
Relock behind you.
got the book?
That's what I was gonna ask. You did get
Portal.
the book, didn't you?
I'm gonna immediately look over at Father T, and I'm gonna like look down at the book and like crack it open.
It's just the book. Thank God. It's taken longer to find it, and we would have been toast.
Speaking of, who was it that saw us? Is that someone of note to any of you?
I'm gonna walk in at this moment. Maybe hear you say the back part of that and say he didn't appear to be following us, but he was disturbed whenever I passed him, and he gave me a long, glancing look. I offered up that we might know each other, and he just stared at me with these eyes. It changed color. Did his eyes like go all of one color, like no sclera, like just
No, just his actual irises like
yeah,
started marooning.
okay. His eyes changed color, and I was suddenly enraged. I had to gather myself, and I'm still kind of disheveled a little bit from that. I'm kind of breathing heavy. By the time I gathered my wits, he was 3 steps past. I decided better to come back and nurse my wounds. I, there's something definitely odd about this person. Human, but I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like he had a longer snout.
Funny enough, I wasn't even talking about that one. The other person that saw us in the act, the one who walked in on us while we were still downstairs. Who was he?
That would be Azel Valshire, the head of the Valshire clan.
So your what grandfather? Father?
Father, my grandfather founded this city.
Uh, so is that is that okay? What is he calling the authorities on us? Is he coming after
Probably.
you?
He is the authorities. He's an ironclad architect.
Ah, shice, I left my steel defender behind. I have to go get that.
I would not recommend going back now. The place will be crawling with guards.
It's fair. Alright, goodbye CT-7652. Hello CT-7653.
You have more than one of those?
Ah, no, just the plans. I'll have to make one. Although, we have bigger fish to fry when it comes to creation. Speaking of, Father, if you would please show me this book.
Now, just a minute. I will need to go through and find the relevant passages in it.
Well,
I doubt
can,
it will be of much use. It is just research data as is. I should
Well,
probably pare it down a bit.
well, if you would, I could siphon through the data as well. I speak this
That's
Orcish.
all right. That is all right. I am sure I will be more than capable of finding the relevant passages.
Father, I helped you steal the book. I'll help you read the book. And we are building the machine together. So I might as well.
Fine.
Let us pour over the data then. The rest of you make sure that the authorities or any eye color changing people don't come in and disturb us.
I agree. Reading this book is your job. The three of us, I kind of look at Goal and Aiken. Aiken, I could use your eye. And Goal, if you can identify that man who was on the streets, perhaps we can keep watch. And is there any way we can like find a high point within Adamar's, like, whether it be like the garage where he parked the ship, or like somewhere where we can like lay low and just like make sure no one's like coming to the house, like, you know what I mean? Just get a look over it.
He has like a balcony. You can go out on the balcony.
Okay, I'd like to be discreet though, so people aren't like, "That's the guy that was there." Like, there he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, you just go out and sit out there on the balcony. It's pretty high up, so you don't think like, anyone will just notice you off the streets.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, his apartment's like on top of other people's, right? It's like a house sort of apartment complex.
Gotcha.
And from there, looking down, you do see there's like a number of different like plants. It almost looks like a small garden that Adamara has up here. You're not sure what he's growing unless you want to investigate that. But a lot of the plants like seem to like move of their own accord. There's like a little of that quasi carnivorous aspect to them that Toril told you a little bit about in the old factory district.
Possible that this being that was following us is another bounty hunter. Would I know any bounty hunters that match the description that he mentioned? Elongated jaw and the color-changing eyes.
No, it sounds really strange to you. I mean, most of the bounty hunters you know are just people.
Yeah, it seems peculiar to be sure.
I'm gonna say that.
Keep an eye out.
Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that I'm still kind of disturbed about what I saw, so I'm gonna keep a pretty sharp eye out on the balcony with whoever else is up there. But I'm also going to start bandaging myself and kind of taking care of myself, before I can take a short or a long rest.
All right, sounds good. Getting yourself a little bit healed up. Go ahead and roll perception checks. Anybody who's on the balcony.
Hell yeah. Nat 20.
Oh,
13.
nice.
Never mind then.
No, roll. It's maybe, I don't know. Correct.
I don't think there's any. Sorry, 23.
Very nice. Well, Tiago, with your natural 20, you certainly notice in an alleyway about 200 yards from where you are in the balcony, you see an individual sort of like leaning up against the wall, and you think it's him. Hard to tell from here, but you're pretty sure. You see there's like an odd shape to the hood that probably corresponds to whatever these horns, antlers are that he seems to have.
Like, I'm gonna put like one of my like thermal goggle things on and just kind of like switch between looking at him in thermal and like, or maybe I'll just like kind of like switch between the two, just kind of looking at him in thermal to see if I can make anything out about him. Like, I think our friend is back, and he may be watching us. Indeed, I'm gonna kind of like just calmly and not be like there he is, but like just kind of say like second alley on the left, below the red building.
Looking at him through a thermal gaze, you see that the exterior of his body is much colder than the interior. And even as you watch, it seems like slowly he's like cooling off from the outside. Something we're eating away the heat inside of him.
Not only does it look like he has horns, but his body temperature is weird. Something strange about him for sure.
I'm like doing my best owl impression. I'm like, wow, good eye.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Toro, are you reading through this book?
Yes, we are sifting through the book. When it
I
comes
insist
to,
on reading over his shoulder as well. I'm there too.
I don't want him to know like too much where he could just like build this machine without me, because that could be dangerous. So anytime I see something that like I already know is not like particularly relevant, something that I could provide that he doesn't necessarily need to know, I'm just like, oh, that's not important, and flip the page or whatever.
I am cognizant of the fact he might try this, and I will insist thoroughly that I get a read through this that was alongside you.
So it's a very slow process as both of us bicker back and forth.
Okay, good to know.
No, don't turn the page. I wasn't done reading yet. And I try to like fight him over the pages.
Well, perhaps you should try and read faster.
Okay. Both of you roll intelligence checks as you just peruse the book, trying to find anything that might be useful.
Oh, baby! Starting off the session good with a natural 1. It seems Father T has made this pouring through this book impossible for someone like me.
Investigation, you said?
Just an intelligence.
Oh, just intelligence. 18.
It's a 5 total, to be fair. But
yeah. You basically, since you only get to read every third page, you're not learning much. Meanwhile, Toro, you actually do make quite a bit of progress looking through. And in particular, you're investigating, these ideas about tampering with time. And there are quite a few, mentions in the book of other time-based magics, things like time stop and even some attempts to go back in time, go forward in time, but a lot of it isn't well explored. And then, more specifically, when it begins discussing the technology behind the breach, it seems really invested in the fact that this is like external power. Like this is power that is not gifted to individuals like us. No mortal can do this on his own of his own volition, at least at that scale. And it does briefly mention the connection to this power in the Feywild. In particular, it seems that the Feywild has some time-altering properties compared to the material plane, and to some degree, it's believed that the breach may have been some sort of union between planes, in which one moved at a different rate or at a different time than a different plane, and it allowed for things to pass through that external plane and back into a different place on the material, or at least a different time.
Very interesting.
What is
Catch
interesting?
that
What exactly is interesting? No, you catch what?
right here.
You flipped 2 pages at once.
Yes, well, I didn't need to know anything on that middle
You
page.
missed a
I've read that one
page.
100 times. This is the important page. It's talking about the Feywild. There's some weird
Okay.
time property in the Feywild.
And are we going to the Feywild?
I'm not sure yet. I have to keep reading.
Okay, go ahead. I'll read it too, actually.
And it seems that, at least in the belief of this man's notes, that this Feywild magical energy that's associated with this time distortion is actually associated with a single type of seed found there. And it's something that you've never heard of, but yeah, you think at least it's theoretically possible it could grow on the material plane as well.
I think this is the key.
What is the seed?
This seed. Does it mention what kind of seed?
He doesn't have a name for it.
There is a magical seed on the Feywild that somehow affects the time, the way it flows through the Feywild. Perhaps
He talks
we were
about
to obtain
he talks about certain plants, like these plants that it grows from this seed, like being able to like pause themselves in time or even like revert back to a seed after being grown. Somehow these plants have some dominion over time in a way that is certainly abnormal within any sort of, you know, base level understanding of how plants work.
Will we have
I
to
think
go?
perhaps if we got some of these plants, we could study them and try and replicate the effect.
Will we have to go to the Feywild to do so?
I don't know.
It's going to
I
be a
never
whole
got this far.
thing. Perhaps what's the new one's name? Tiago? Perhaps Tiago knows some shady folk who could perhaps have the seed that they are selling. Perhaps that it's around somewhere. Otherwise, we're going to have to find a
Does it-
way to enter a new dimension, a whole other plane of existence, which is difficult.
Obviously not ideal. Does it give any more specifics on like whatever this type of plant is, other than just like, is there any description except just like a seed that turns back time?
There are detailed drawings of both the seed and the plant. It looks to be like a small leafy plant, and it shows like, I mean, he draws like in motion basically these leaves like ungrowing and like regrowing in different parts of the plant, as if, you know, as if retracting back in time in some way. The seeds are these sort of brown and red, about walnut sized seeds with these like red tendrils basically like running up and down them. And he shows those also like pulsing. There's some sort of energy flowing through them.
Father, this looks very similar to what you do regularly with your staff.
Pulse?
I mean, shift things by changing the time developing around them. You do
Oh,
it with your
yes, that is-
staff. What is your staff made of?
It is made of various rare materials found on the plane. Detailed and partially of my own design, not all spelled out in the book here. So you don't have to really
Well,
try and find it in there. It's all up here.
well, will
but-
it help us build this machine?
Would my staff help us build this machine? Yes, but I don't know
Why are you being
how.
so secretive about the book and your
I'm not
staff?
being secretive.
Your
I'm trying to simplify years of study to a conversational level.
Why do you not want me to know this information, Father?
I don't want anyone to have the design for this staff. It's very dangerous.
Well,
In some ways, I wish not even I had the design for this staff.
you know
But-
it will be in good hands. And, well, I have I promise to help you build this machine, and not use it for my own well-being, as you have promised to help me with the machine. I wish to make eventually as well. So trust is what I'm saying.
And I'm saying I think the next step for this process, this collaboration between the two of us, is to find this seed.
I hope this doesn't turn into a whole thing. You know, I don't want to go to the Feywild. It's not meant for people like us. We're not built for it. When we spent that week in the Beastlands, I was itchy all of the time because of the wilderness. Can't even imagine it in the Feywild. Plus, if we do, won't we be subjected to this time-altering exodus as well?
I don't know. It would require more study. But from what I can read here, it seems that any major shifts in time are rare.
Yeah. How long is it going to take you to go through this whole book?
It's taken me quite some time so far, but I think this is what we're looking for. I think we found what we need from this book in this moment.
Oh.
And there are other things perhaps in this book, and I will continue to look through it. But I think this is the clue that we need.
All right. Then we'll have to look for this somewhere.
Yes. Perhaps we should go check on the others.
All right. Making your way out to the balcony here. The other three of you, you're seeing this man seemingly waiting outside, watching you.
Did we determine who it was with Tiago's Nat 20?
Yeah, it's him. I mean, it's the guy.
Seems like that guy that we ran into or saw a couple
Oh,
times. Yeah.
yes. I don't.
The gray man.
Yeah, I don't know why I forgot that. Sorry.
I'm gonna like clean my rapier while like also not losing a beat on that guy if possible.
Yeah. I will get my normal bow ready, not the oath bow.
Good.
Just
If
like,
Aiken's watching, I'll like look to Aiken and say, "Do not take your eye off of him," and then I'll actually like focus on cleaning my sword.
and I'll go in a comical manner. If you say so.
All right. At which point the other two come and join you out here on the terrace.
Tiago, how
We have
many?
found great
Oh no,
things.
you go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was simply informing them we have come to great success.
That was quick.
Kind of, not really. We have discovered things that are possibly helpful, but Tiago, we need you to talk to one of your criminal contacts, or at least troll around for, I don't know what you talk about in your criminal meetings, but we're looking for some seed found in the Feywild. It's probably contraband, so.
I suppose I probably do know some people who would have a sort of black market that I could peruse. Do you have a picture or an image, a name perhaps, something the seed
No
is known
name.
by?
Here is an image of this seed. You can see some of the diagrams here illustrate its unique properties to interfere with time.
I'm already on
regrowing
it.
and
And I'm gonna write my own detailed sketch, copied based directly upon that one, and I'll use one of my magical tinkerings to give him a little projection of it. So there's a little like a bolt in your hand that will just like hologram projection map this image of a seed, and I'll hopefully do it in a good color scheme that would match what it would actually be.
I'll like hold that thing and kind of like admire it. That is quite impressive.
my guess this might be more on the higher end of the market, if that makes sense. More of a collector's item than street level plant.
There probably will not be a lot, but we are willing to pay any price. So make that abundantly clear.
I do not actually have any of the money, but perhaps you could let them know it is for humanitarian purposes and they would allow us to study it.
That doesn't
Depending on
seem
the
like a
merchant,
criminal would want to help people.
depending on the merchant that we speak to, it may or may not. In either way, I won't be taking any money with me. Usually not a good idea to come full of cash, depending on the part of town as well. But this description should suffice. Question is, who's going with me? And the other question is, how is a seed going to help us bring back those lives lost in Tria?
It's a whole thing. It's a process.
We're not quite sure yet.
It's just the seed is one part of the time-altering properties we are looking for. It's with
If I were to break down years and years of study by this scholar that I am a fan of, essentially, the Feywild is another plane of existence that has unique time properties when it interferes with our plane of existence. They flow on different levels of time. And this seed comes originally from the Feywild and seems to have the ability to move backwards and pause itself in time. It may be part of the reason the Feywild operates on a different time table entirely.
And you two think that taking this seed, you could do something to bring us elsewhere or bring those people back in Tria?
We could study it and see if the effect was possible to replicate. Yes.
I like kind of look over at Goal. What do you think?
This is way above my head. I trust Father T.
If you say it needs to be done and we need to get this seed to bring those people back, then I trust you. And I trust you, Siegfried, as well. We'll see it done, but there are other matters we should attend to. I'm not sure that we should split up. And I kind of like gesture to the alley down there, second alley on the left below the red building. We have a admirer. He somewhat assaulted Gull on the way back in. Not sure what he wants.
Gesturing down toward him, you see he kind of like looks up in your direction, takes a couple of steps forward, and you see two people who were walking together in the street. He walks up to them. And after just a brief moment, you see the two erupt into like a fight amongst themselves, like punching and kicking one another. And he just like looks up to you, and you see in real time as he glances at you, his antlers seem to grow a bit underneath his hood, and he just smiles and walks off.
He said, "Blood, what the hell is that?"
He's a creepy one.
yeah. So we don't have to even deal with that if we could just like sort of avoid that. We have a lot of other things to participate in.
I agree, and there's the fact that we need to tell Adamar that our mission was a success. That, unfortunately,
Or perhaps that could compromise the urgency of our mission and the information that is at hand. Certainly, Dr. Siegfried. Nope. Certainly, Father T. You would not want Adamar or frankly anyone in on the process or the things that we have discovered. Right?
Most certainly not. This is not information that should be leaving this circle.
He shouldn't.
I do not believe we had
the
told
less he
Adamar.
knows, the safer he is as well. So
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
It's about this time
Logan.
that you guys all hear doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo.
What is that?
Turner
This
support
is
this
one that I'm familiar with.
Looking around, you eventually all find that it appears to be coming from the door.
Is that dude still in the alley?
You don't see him.
Prepare for combat. I'm gonna pull out my gun. Will somebody else go enter it? I'm not going to put
Is there
myself.
any way we can see who's at the front door without opening the front door?
I mean, the door is, it doesn't have a window or anything.
That's like the front door or the door to the balcony?
It's the door to Adamar's apartments. So it's inside the building, but that door.
Gotcha.
I suppose I could go and open it if nobody else wants to. Great. I will go and I will gingerly open the door with the bottom end of my staff, pulling my hood up as I do.
I'll be aiming at the door in case I need to fire off a shot quick.
Fair enough. You're
Yeah,
at
if
the
I
ready.
can put my back to the wall, like right at the door, right by Father T, for sure
Mhm.
I'll do that as well.
All right. You're all sort of gathered in this sitting area in a very aggressive stance. And as you open it, you see a tiefling who you probably recognize as Gregdrin takes off a large, like, red, huge rimmed hat and, like, does, like, a little bow. I'm just back to see Ileana. We didn't get through all of the business we were working on yesterday.
Who is it?
Tiefling says he knows you.
He,
What?
Siegfried.
What?
Sorry, I'd spoken with the other of you yesterday.
Ah, yes, you are the bearer of bad news.
I'm not sure,
That's
but
not what I meant. Yes, Greg Drin, right?
yes, that is you don't remember me either. That of course.
No, but don't worry, I have been filled in properly. I know that I am only a simulacra, not fully functional, but knowing of my own memories and thoughts.
Yes, I wanted to tell you, Ilyana, she was very willing to. And then he like looks around and like for the first moment sort of realizes that like you're not alone and says, it seems she doesn't have your best interest at heart any longer. Ever since she's
Yes,
lost her memories.
yes, and do not worry about the others. I'm sure they have noticed the same sentiment. She's a bit heavy-handed, and well, frankly, I think she's going to kill me someday.
Funny, I thought she would kill me yesterday.
Funny, I actually am already dead.
Right.
Yes. So, what have you come here for? I'll actually help you to the best of my abilities, whereas Ileana was probably, I don't know, working on something to screw us all over.
I'm not sure. I just came because I promised Ileana that we'd work on it further.
Oh, then let's. Father, we can't have any further work done until we have the seed, right? So I am free to go explore my own interests.
Yes. There's not much to do.
Call me back if you need me, and I am serious about that.
Should I need you, I will.
No,
Call.
don't leave me out of any major developments. Call me back.
I will.
Okay, Greg Dwyn, take me to this lab I was told about.
So, that's another thing I'd sort of come here to talk to you about. I think it's worth looking into who it was that killed you a little bit more closely. I showed up at work today and there was a sign illustrating Ileana that seemed to imply that she was not welcome there any longer.
Who is this from?
That I'm not sure. I'm afraid I don't know much more than you, but I'm on your side, of course. And you, other you also.
So I'm still allowed in though, right?
Perhaps, but if they know about Liana and then they see you, it could lead to some complications, let's say.
Right. So what is the plan then?
Well, I was thinking maybe we should look more into what exactly got you in the state in the first place. Maybe from there we can find a way to get you back.
Yes, sure. Yes, come in. Yes, we'll hash things out fully in here.
Of course. He like walks in. What are the rest of you guys doing?
What is? Can you hear me all right with just one headphone in?
Yep.
Okay. What's in the common area that we're at? Like, is furniture got any books or magazines?
Yeah. This is the area where there is like the bookshelf, and then there are the two chairs and the two double winding staircase that go up to the next level. It's like the open sitting area. The back leads into the kitchen from here.
Yeah, I think what Aiken will be doing is, since there's not much for him to do in this direct scenario, he's probably just gonna sit down in a chair after, Greg Drin is not a threat, so just chill out, wait for the next move on the other guy's part.
Okay.
And do you have anything specific you want to do?
Did you say Dan?
Yeah, or goal. Sorry.
Who's Dan?
Yeah.
Well, what's Tiago doing?
I think I'm just gonna recollect like what people I might know, what people in the city that might have a connection to like black market goods, if there's anyone who dealt with like, just rare or illegal substances or plant material, just something like that. Who do I know that could point us in the right direction? If not, lead us there directly.
You would know that there is a small population of very peculiar individuals. They are much shorter than your average man and totally covered in white fur. They're often called hair folk by those who don't know them well. And there is a small population of hair folk that actually live in the old factory district, and they are the singular purveyors of all weird plant life from that district. But they never leave, so you have to go to them.
Would I know what types of like currency they might trade in? Like what things would they be interested in? Are they interested in gold? Are they interested in like something else? What do they like? Do I know
It
anything
seems,
about that?
I mean, it seems like gold is sufficient, but outside of that, you think that they're interested in a lot of different things. You know,
I guess I'll gather if Father T is helping with Siegfried at all, then I'll leave him out of it. But if he's not, then I'll explain. There is one group of creatures, I suppose you could call them, further out in the old factory district. If anyone knows about some peculiar plants, they would. It may be dangerous going, but if we all go together, then perhaps could find this plant. If not, can point it in the right direction. And they're not criminals, as far as I know.
yeah. I mean, Father T, you're also aware that there's this population of hair folk.
Right.
Yes, we'd have to break rule number 3 of Doracast, but Bigger rules have been broken today.
Oh, also, pick me up a shrub.
The one shrub.
That is a
and
genuine
one
request.
beautiful
So.
time-altering seed.
Oh, and I'm sure that perhaps you would need payment to at least sort of put a down payment on such an item to show you are serious, or to possibly afford the shrub. So I'll give you a, 2,000 gold pieces?
Suppose that could work. Father T should take it, and yeah.
There you go, father. And I'll throw you
I
a tight
may
2,000.
have just the place to keep it. Question. I had previously asked about a small box and whether or not Adamar would be able to provide me with such a small box. Was I able to get this expensive box to make my extra dimensional chest?
Yes, he provided you with this. You like
Fantastic.
go to like the apartment that you were staying in, and it's just like sitting on a table there.
Ah,
A
this is
guy.
wonderful.
Well, a guy. Told you
I
he was
got.
good. Told you he
I have
wasn't
now
evil.
got a tiny chest that I can carry around with me, and I can open it, and it can become a big chest. So I'll open it, and I'll put all the gold in there, and I'll close it up, and I'll tuck it in one of my pockets.
You do.
Have you ever considered getting a bag of holding? I've had one for a very long time. It has not done me wrong yet.
No need. I have this extra dimensional box.
It seems like a bag of holding with extra steps, perhaps. Alright.
So
All right.
if we're all gonna go to this village of hairy folk, maybe we should rest first. I kind of like look at everyone, look at myself. There's some wounds on me that I can't even remember how I got them. It was all a blur, but I'm definitely not at 100%. If resting is in the cards, then perhaps we should do that.
Are you
Maybe
all
leave it first light or before first light.
are you all hurt from the last fight we had?
I'm at 25%.
Oh.
So I'm pretty
I didn't know that was a problem.
I'm at 50,
no problem.
maybe. The call is yours. If you guys want to leave now, during darkness, we can. But if you want to rest, then perhaps we should.
Perhaps we can rest and give it some time before we go back on the streets again.
You all certainly can. I will be working on other things for the next 8 hours. It takes you to rest.
Greg just sort of nods at you like it's a good idea. All right. So are you all bedding down then?
Yeah, I'm going to find a quiet spot to meditate for a good length of time before I drift off to sleep in what others would find to be an uncomfortable position. Maybe I'm in a corner and I just kind of fall asleep into the corner.
All right. Roll a religion check as you sit there meditating.
11.
Okay. As you meditate, clear your mind there, you keep feeling your thoughts wander, and it always seems to come back to the idea of a keyhole, of something that needed to be opened, an access point. And you sort of shake it off as best you can, but the conversation that you had with Den Coral keeps coming back into your mind. That there's this thing that Shar wants you to open. Then
Oh,
you
yeah.
fall asleep.
Can you spell his name for me?
Yeah, Dan, like your name, and then Coril,
Okay,
and his last name is Leodark, Leoy Dark.
cool. That's actually a pretty cool last name.
Thanks.
Cool first name too, Dan. That's the best
Well, of
name
course.
if you ask me.
Of course. I didn't
Dan
want to see
Coral.
anything, but
I'll say, I got you, Dan. I got you.
thanks, man.
I'm gonna, if he falls asleep, I'm gonna like meditate, or I'm gonna sit quietly across from him. And if he wakes at all, I'd like to talk to him. I don't know if he wakes at all during his sleep, but
I'll say I'm a light sleeper, and if you're quiet, maybe I wouldn't. But if you do anything to rouse me, I'm kind of sleeping just like I was in an alley in a city as a kid,
I gotcha.
kind of
I think probably I'll just
sitting up.
yeah. I don't think I would disturb your sleep, but I probably do sit there for a while, just kind of like one hand on my knee, maybe like tinkering with a dagger or something, and just kind of watch you sleep and dream, and that's it. And like, I'm not gonna wake you unless you wake on your own.
I don't know how to. I'm curious, but I don't know about 1 through 3. I sleep, and 4 through 6. I wake up. I sleep.
There you go.
All right, fair enough.
Tired after a
And
long
I'll
day.
I'll I'll meditate eventually too. In the same room. I'm assuming it's dark in there.
Yeah. All right. As you all bed down, meanwhile, Dr. Siegfried, you are working away. Um, Gregdrin seems to have, in the past few hours, like really put a lot of thought into this. You can tell that he's like desperately trying to figure out who it was that, you know, basically had you killed.
Oh,
He,
you put a lot of work into this. I'm surprised.
yeah,
It's
it's like almost conspiracy theory level shit. Like he's got like random papers and like documents that he's pulling out. It's intense for sure.
okay, what is there to solve? What are the questions here?
Well, listen to this. Do you know a? Can't think of the right way to say this. Uh, there's this woman. She's gone missing. She's connected to some eldritch power, from what I understand. I think that she had you killed.
Woman, eldritch power. Do you have a
And
name?
he like pulls out a picture of Callie and says, Callie Yilalan,
Yes, that's what I
wanted for
figured.
necromancy. And oh, you know her.
Yes, she services a fortune-seeing deity called the Skine Witch, who claimed that the downfall of Tria would start the apocalypse, for lack of a better term.
And what do you think?
I never pegged her for an enemy or someone who would have been responsible for my own death. But I suppose, oh, what's his name? The angry guy whose apartment this is? Argan?
Adama.
That's the one. Claims to have this Callie's thoughts within his own mind. So perhaps she is more of a danger than I thought.
He hasn't mentioned this to me.
Adama? How close are you two? Because frankly, I do not trust him.
Funds my research, but not so much closer than that, I suppose.
Ah, well, if you can help it, it's a good thing we are discussing now. Do not mention me or Ileana in relation to his projects as, well, I do not remember, but I was told that the horrible, terrible experiments that Ileana was put through were funded by him. And if he were to know that they are technically functional, then he would resume his process to attempt to become immortal and, you know.
Yes, of course. Listen, this woman, I think that she is working with a member of the council, of the Majocracy, but I do not know which one.
I am not familiar with the members individually. I only have heard them referred to as an entity. How many are there?
There was one for each city. But now with
Toya.
Tria, there are 13.
And which one do you think is the one that she is working with?
I don't know. No one would be so insane to have you killed. I'm assuming that this was all to stop our project, what we've been working on, you and Ileana and I. I wonder if our machine would have caused a problem for your apocalypse.
Perhaps. I am at a significant disadvantage as I do not know people on the Majocracy or their ideals and beliefs, etc., etc. So I am at a bit of a loss. All I know is that you were presumably one of the last to see me and Ileana alive. Do you have anything to add about that night that I would not know about?
No, nothing that I can think of. No, I'm sorry. He looks out the window. It's getting late. I should go back home. I will continue looking into this. I swear I'll find the truth.
Would you like to, would you mind if you left your documents, if I could pore over them and perhaps find something?
Of course, of course. Yes. Just leave it. I should be going.
Greg, then before you go, I have to warn you that Ileana's insistence on acting despite it possibly hurting me in the long run is not an isolated incident. She oftentimes will put others in danger for her own benefit. I do not know the people that you knew before we went missing, but I cannot advise that they are the same as you knew. I may not be your friend you once knew, and neither was she. She is a conniving, evil person. However, as of right now, we have a similar goal, so it's not the worst thing. But I wouldn't be in the room alone with her for too long if you're making her angry.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Good night, Dr. Siegfried.
Yes, it's unfortunate to be me. Good night.
He shuffles out the door.
I'm gonna spend the next amount of time here poring over the documents.
Roll an investigation and an insight check.
Alrighty, let's do some CSI work. I'm gonna be zooming in on a picture and clicking the enhance button.
Yeah,
Obviously.
something like that.
Alright. That was investigation, that was insight. Investigation first is going to be a dirty 20, and an insight is going to be a 13.
Okay. It all makes sense. It lines up in a way that is unbelievably tight. Everything seems to just fall into place, and he put this all together in a few hours. You're just amazed that this is either the greatest sleuth of all time or there's more to this story. It has the feeling of someone framing someone, whether he just found the trail that led to this to Callie being framed or he himself is doing it, you're not sure. But it's too circumstantial, it's too perfect. Everything just makes a little bit too much sense to you.
Did Gregrin tell me where he resides throughout the day so that I could go talk to him if I came upon any more insights?
I mean, you assume that he works at his laboratory.
Oh yeah.
But he does. Besides that, no.
Um. Do I have any more leads that I can conceivably follow at this point?
I mean, looking back, the only other lead you have as to who killed you or how you ended up on the ground was the first notes written in your book uh, that were not in your handwriting. So you think that would be the only other thing you can think of to try and process a lead?
Well, I'm gonna look through the notes that Gregdrin has written. This existence does it match his handwriting?
Roll an investigation check.
Natural 20.
It looks a lot like he's trying not to write like that.
Ah, shit.
And he's pretty good at it. Pretty damn good at it.
Huh.
The fact that you can notice was hours of you meticulously looking at little things like how his T's sometimes turn down a little bit in both. And then you flip to the next page and sometimes he'll forget to dot his I here, and he did that in the note too. And it takes you a long time to be sure, but by the end, with your natural 20, you are convinced that whoever wrote these documents also wrote the note.
I want if this were like a filmed like a movie, it's a slow zoom in on Siegfried as he like, and I want a jump cut, and I'm poking Tiago in the cheek as he sleeps.
Okay.
Wake up, wake up.
Before you poke my cheek, I'm not asleep. I'm just meditating, and I'll say, "Why?" I like turn and look at him with his hand like coming towards me.
I got
I'll try to
bags
grab.
under
I'll try
my
to like,
eyes.
his hand and grab his hand.
I need your help. I need to
Be
burgle.
quiet. Like,
If I'm waking up him and you happen to be around, so be it.
They slept in the same room, so I would assume that they would both be around.
Yeah. Diego, I need your help.
That's a clutch natural 20, dude.
Let's go.
That's wild, though. The way you described it too, super cool.
for whatever reason, Garrett, you were lagging, so I could hear your audio before your video, and so it said natural 20, and then you rolled. I was like, what the hell?
I'm calling my
What
shot.
the fuck?
Colin.
It was funny.
Tiago, I need you to help me burgle. Or something. Or track or break in. You're a dirty thief, man. Help me. The dirty was uncalled for. I'm sorry I said that. I know that as soon as I said that, I didn't mean it.
You see Tiago like kind of like break a smile, like he just smiles and he's like, "Despite that, I am willing to help you. What is it you need?"
I look at this and I'm gonna start pulling out documents out of this folder that I have.
Some
and
of
they're
like circled
spilling
red
everywhere.
marker.
I'm gonna pull out tacks and
Logan,
I'm gonna start pinning them in the wall.
I'm proficient with like creating forgeries, like really good forgeries. So I think that I would probably be able to, corroborate and verify whether or not he's onto something here.
I'll say you're good at it. This guy is incredible. You're starting to think that this is this guy's job. Like, this is what he does. So maybe he was never friends with Iliano or Dr. Siegfried, and this is all just some gigantic ploy that you're now uncovering.
He left me this note, and it is written in Primordial, which is the first thing I noticed when I woke up. The problem is the Primordial characters and the common characters. I had to find the commonalities between those. Look, and if you look at the stems, it's the stems that are you understand, they are all the same.
Are you guys still sitting right by where I'm sleeping, or did you go off?
Just yelling next to you. Just losing my mind.
I'm gonna be like, I kind of twitch a couple times, and then I'm gonna be like, I realize I'm like breathing heavy again, and I like stop after I kind of aim toward the room, and
Sorry to wake you.
I doubt it.
I have been framed. Well, no, that's not quite it. A man has attempted to frame others. Callie, is to my death. Is to you're the guy that you answered the door for. I think he killed me, or he's covering up what did. We have to go find proof.
Forgive me for not following exactly, but I can see the similarity between the fonts here, and the writing is clearly. He's quite good at this, actually. I'm gonna like hold the two together. Like, how long have you known him, and what makes you think that this leads to him framing you or killing you?
He, well, okay. So the letter that I have his handwriting to base on is from a perspective that is aware of the person with the split mind. They say, oh, you need to get along. The secret to surviving is that you two work in tandem. And it's written as someone who inflicted this experiment upon us and sent us down to the surface, something like that. That's this guy's writing, and now he's trying to find out who killed us, and we just happen to stumble upon this plot with the Majocracy. It speaks for itself. So now we need to go and burgle him, and perhaps find the missing link, the key, or find more evidence against him, so that we can kill him. Probably. I don't. What do we do after we figure this out? Never mind. Don't worry about that. I'll think of something. This has to do with me. But we need to find evidence.
So your suspicions are that this writing matches both the lab notes and the notes in your folder, which tell you how to behave with this multiple personality.
When I awoke, I had this two pages of paper on me. One of which was a schematic, which isn't relevant. The other was a very personalized note, specifically talking about the both of me and Ileana's workings, telling us we need to work together to survive, and then signing off with the tagline, "Be nice," as if referring to both of us. That person is Gregdrin, who just brought over these notes, who wrote them about who he's tracking down, who killed me. Because I don't know if I've made the official announcement yet, Gol. Perhaps it helps you that you're here too, so I can say to both of you at the same time that I am not me. I am an artifice created a person's thoughts and personalities put into a body that is not mine, and it was combined with another's. Left out the memories of both of us, but put our personalities together. And it's a bit frightening. So if he's the one who did this to me, then I must know. For I'm not sure what I will do.
Definitely seems like he's involved, but whether or not he killed you is another question. And not only that, we have this other endeavor we're pursuing. Which should we pursue first?
Look, it will take 20 minutes at most. We have to go. Perhaps we can go to the lab. Gol, you can... Maybe if we find him on the way, you can rough him up a bit for a confession.
How long have I been asleep?
Most of the night, like 7 hours.
I don't actually know what time it is. Have you all taken a rest?
Is it enough for a long rest?
Also, you need like another hour of sleep. Like, you just need to take like 1 more hour of sleep, and then you'll be fully rested.
This sounds like a good plan. In a couple of hours. And I'm going to get up and go find a more comfy spot.
Well, My life is at
Siegfried.
stake.
Siegfried, I hear you. We hear you. We will help you. But first, we must rest. Allow me to collect my thoughts. And I'm going to like close my eyes and like kind of maintain that meditative posture again.
All right. Meanwhile, Aiken, while you are sleeping, you have a dream.
Ooh. Tell me.
Are you here?
I think he's been gone for a long time, off and on.
Nah, he's there. He's
My
there.
headphone in.
Okay, no worries. So you dream that you see a man walking down the street. You find yourself in the center of Jorkos, right near the Valzire mansions, a place you've been a few times. And as the man walks down, you see him looking side to side through the streets as he grabs what looks to be a slab of pork and just begins carving it with a knife. And you see with each step his complexion darkens, eventually turning bluish, grayish. Each step you see antlers curling and growing from his head. And as the steps conclude, he stands right in front of you and begins cackling wildly as you see everyone else in the street erupt into chaos. You see he seems to revel in this massacre all around you as people tear into each other blind with rage. He looks at you and you see his eyes beat red, his snout sort of protruding as he pulls up a cleaver and hacks into you. He looks a little bit something like this.
Terrifying. Does it feel like pain, or is it like a dream where just like I can see it?
You just immediately wake up.
Oh. Wake up in a hot sweat. Is anybody around me besides my dog?
No.
Like, you know, when it's really hot in the bed, and I like instantly start to pet Proteus as he's comforting me from my scary dream.
Fantastic. Well, that.
Is there is there anyone else near me? Or
Nope.
Okay.
Just all throughout the apartment. You all wake up in the morning. What would you like to do?
I will make a great breakfast for everyone.
All right.
I will be
Oh,
up
yeah.
early. It will be a delicious breakfast, and then we must get a move on, because we need to find the seed.
I have not slept, so as you come down, I'm like just sitting there cross-armed in the middle of the room.
Come, help me. We are making the finest cuisines of Jorcast.
I think that guy may be my killer. I think he may have killed me.
Yes, well, as I said, this city is full of liars and murderers. Come help me make breakfast.
Do not trust anyone. Everyone is always watching you, and do not stray from the new district, right? Those are the rules.
Yes. Those are the rules.
Okay. And then I'm gonna pull out like this like radiation resistant lead apron like the dentist puts on you when they're doing x-rays. I'm gonna put that on to start cooking breakfast in.
All right.
Nice.
You guys concoct a wonderful feast. What do you make?
The finest local cuisines. Whatever they eat in Joracast. Oh wait, no, in Joracast, No, they don't like food very much in Jorcast. I remember. They have,
They
like,
don't
very
eat in
strict recipes,
Jorcast. We don't make them anything.
right? I think I'm right. I think it says
Man,
specifically in
if
the
only
document they don't like luxury food.
if only someone had like some type of like if you could season your food,
Yes.
that'd be super useful or helpful.
Whatever Adamar has lying around, I will just
God damn it, Will.
I'll concoct stuff as I go.
Just
I do
forget it.
have a seasoning, so but I don't know what he has around. I didn't go grocery shopping. I'm just using Adamar's food.
Roll a D100 for me.
We should use Adamar's own, cook his food for him, and then when he shows up, be like, dude, what the hell? You did not have a good selection.
78.
Yeah, it's too bad you don't have a friend who could have given you seasoning or something at some point in time.
I have seasoning.
That would be
I
cool.
just don't know if there's anything to use the seasoning on.
What are we just gonna eat straight nutmeg here?
Yeah,
okay,
I'm not just gonna be sprinkling
cinnamon
pepper
on a bowl.
or whatever.
Did you say 78?
Great year.
Yes.
All right. Looking around, yeah, a lot of heartier rations, typical Jorcost fare. Though he does have a few things sprinkled in here from Inzarda, as that is his home, that is the cuisine he's most used to. And you do find the makings for garlic soup.
Oh
garlic
shit!
Soup. Yes.
I love garlic soup.
It's a breakfast
Nothing quite
that'll
like some
make
garlic
your
soup for breakfast.
breath stink the rest of the day, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, garlic soup.
Aiken's gonna look to Proteus, and I forgot I can understand him. Like I can speak his
Yeah, you
language.
can talk
now.
to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask him. You want anything?
He looks down at his undead body and just sort of shakes his head.
But I'd ask.
He growls in a way that seems to insinuate you just now, after months of knowing me, or weeks of knowing me at least, have decided to try to feed me.
Man, it's an awkward relationship.
Okay, so now that you are all here having a good breakfast, for those of you who do not know, here now is the time that I will tell you. Very recently, maybe a month ago, I went missing from here in Jorcost, as I was a scientist. I was killed. My personality and mind and thoughts were uploaded into a body, the one that you saw when revealed with the sword that Gol has. I was then thrown down here and left with a note. And the source of the note, the man who seems to know the mysteries behind my my thing I have going on, my condition, is the Gregdrin that arrived yesterday, trying to frame Callie as the murderer. But the point is, Gregdrin is probably the culprit, and I would like you all to either steal from him or rough him up so that he confesses. I need to know the truth as to why he did this to me. Please and thank you.
Perhaps there is some sort of lie detector device that I could try and incorporate into my staff.
Yes, do you have one? I could perhaps help you make such a tool.
I do not have one right now, but I am sure that with both of our minds and another long rest, I could swap out one of my spells to do Zone of Truth or something.
Oh. I did not take a rest, so...
Right, well, I would be the one that would have to take the rest.
Anyways... so if that is I don't know why he would do such a thing, as he claims to have been my ally. But I need to know the reason. If you could afford me to understand the intricacies of my own death, I would appreciate it.
There are ways to ascertain the truth. I'm gonna like tighten like some of the like armor I have on, the leather armor, as I'm talking, waking up in the morning, that don't involve spells. They're a little less agreeable to the person on the receiving end, but we
Yes.
could see it done, especially if that would put your mind at focus to the tasks at hand.
Wait a second. So you're dead.
Um. Well, I am me, but the me you see before you is merely a. I'm a soulless, robot-like entity that can change my shape, much like my steel defender, who I have follow me around. I have no uh, real human nature like the rest of you do. I wasn't born.
Are you like a corpse?
No, well, I am the, I was sort of uploaded, into a blue-bodied alien-looking, figure.
No, that won't do.
What do you mean?
Do you have access to your corpse?
Do I have exit?
If you had access to your corpse, I could potentially try and turn back the time around your corpse, specifically allowing not you to really come back to life, but allowing me to ask you some questions about the last moments of your life.
Yeah, I'll look for my own corpse. Today might be a strange day for me. I might be going through some things. Does Adamar have any alcohol in the apartment?
Yes, he has like a full bar.
Cool. I'm gonna hop behind there for a bit. I didn't sleep all night, and I've been thinking about my own death and mortality, and now I'm gonna start day drinking. So
Perfect. Yep.
Before he
on
does that, I'm gonna
we're
like
on a
kind of
steady
grab the
course.
bottle out of his hand, like dissuade him from drinking. Instead of drinking, in fear of your own death, realize that perhaps death eventually comes for all of us.
Well, it's not that I fear death, as it has happened, and I was unaware. It's more of the fact that my entire life is a lie. And perhaps that if you believe in some sort of grand creator, he could have made you with the memories of your entire life in your mind, despite you not living them. So realistically, the entire world, as we know it, Jawcast, everybody in it, you, me, could have all been created last Thursday. And we all just remember a fabricated time in our own minds. It's hard to determine what is real now, as the common saying, I think therefore I am, does not necessarily apply when you are not you. Can I have the bottle back, please?
I'll like pour two glasses and say, I guess the real question is, does it really matter? Or do the experiences that you're having now matter? Is what time you have now what really matters? And I'll
Uh,
like raise the glass to cheers.
yes, but the times I'm having now are not very good times. They're very bad.
Perhaps we need to spend more energy making them good times. I'll do what I can to help you to uncover your origins or your death, find your killer. But whatever time we have now in this body, you should spend making fulfilled and worthwhile, don't you think? I'll like raise the glass again just to like offer cheers.
Uh, Notoriously, this group has prevented me from doing so.
This morning is a new day. Perhaps there's more we could have done to help in the past, and I offer that to you at least now.
Yeah, I think finding out that why he had killed me is more important than trying to have a good day or whatever. No offense, I understand the sentiment. It's just a lot.
We'll start with that. In the meantime, while you're drinking, you should make a list of questions you'd like answered, so we don't miss anything, given the opportunity that we might have with him.
Good
I'm
thinking.
gonna go back to like finish my food.
Okay. You all finish your breakfast. Anybody else doing anything this morning? Oh, by the way, you guys do see Adamar like stumble out of his bedroom. Ah, brother, how are you?
Good. There's breakfast, food if you'd like some.
Garlic soup? Ah, my favorite! He, like, immediately pours himself a bowl without asking.
Any advancements? Did we give him like the information about like the types of like things we'd want built for our fortress or whatever?
Yeah,
Or is
I
this something
assume
I
that
need to give
I assume you're like feeding him information as you come up with it.
as we go? Okay. Well, in that case, I'll say yeah. What's the word on this fortress you're building? This stronghold? I realize it
Yes,
can't be
yes.
built overnight.
Yes, well, luckily I have been in some workings and have been able to develop the expanded tensors disk, similar to the one that we currently reside on here in Jorcast. And from there, I'm going to begin construction this week. Should be up in no time.
Good, good.
Yes, yes.
It may be wise to keep it on the down low.
Oh,
Maybe not
I
let
intend to.
everyone know. Good, good. Enjoy your breakfast. You seem happy.
It's a beautiful day to be alive.
No need to rub it in.
He like giggles, then like gets a concerned look on his face.
Good to see you with a smile on your face, brother.
Good to
Sort of
have
sky
one.
on.
After like completing half his bowl, he looks over. I tell you, I got that damned witch out of my head.
You don't say.
Yes, yes. That blasted behemoth. She's been removed, as has her little tinctress Callie.
How did you do such a thing?
How do you know?
Pretty simple. I can't hear her anymore all the time speaking to me.
What did you do?
Well, there are certain magical techniques to avoid prying, and he kind of like lifts up a necklace that he's wearing.
What does the necklace look like?
It's this gold chain with a large like ruby encrusted with like gold leaf around it.
Tiago's gonna like, with all of his deceit and disguise and everything, like he's gonna be trying to be holding back like the look of like he's so happy. And if anyone else like makes eye contact, he'll just kind of like shake his head, like, obviously don't tell him that maybe we had something to do with it. I don't know. But he seems elated that his brother is like relieved from this torment. Brother, I am so happy to hear this. I'm gonna like hug him.
He like looks a little bit surprised and hugs you back.
You seem yourself more than I've seen you. Well, since I've seen you.
I'm glad. It's a great day. Great, great day.
Adamar,
Yes.
I am going to make a dent into this bottle of alcohol I have taken from you. I have the gold piece requirements to pay you back. How much would this require?
What's mine is yours. I invited you into my home. Please, don't hold back. I can always get another.
Also, hello, my name is Dr. Siegfried. We haven't made a full meeting yet.
Oh, weren't you a girl the other day?
Yes. To my understanding, the girl has warned you of this change in appearance, and she apologizes for it.
I do vaguely remember something like that. Well, no matter.
I might keep drinking.
The club now.
We're getting crunk at breakfast, boys.
I don't know
We're
what
drinking our
happened.
cares away.
There's a bunch of songs added to this playlist that I don't think I added.
Nice.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Oh, Adamar, aren't you friends with Greg Drin?
Oh yes, yes. He visited a couple of days back. Saw the other one of you.
Yes.
Apparently, you knew each other.
That is what I am told as well. I'm looking to properly get reacquainted. Although we had agreed yesterday very briefly to meet at his residence. But I do not know where he lives, as that was not shared. Do you know?
Yes, I do. It's not far. He lives a floor down.
Oh, good.
Yes. Suppose.
I'll probably head there sometime today if we're not busy.
All right. Well, don't get too drunk then. Greg Jin can be a stickler sometimes.
Hmm.
Well, I best get off. Work to do and all that. Being an ironclad architect is more work than I thought it'd be.
Enjoy your good day, brother.
Thank you.
Fully.
And something's really pissed the Valzyres off, and that just makes the day all the
Indeed.
He like stands up as if to walk, and then just tears a hole and just like steps through it.
Awesome. So, first things first, shall we pursue your deceiver then?
That would be of preference.
Shouldn't take that long, and then afterwards we can go see these hairy folk, see if they have this seed that we're after.
Hey, you may think that your brother is cured or whatever that hug was about. But make no mistake, he is not to know of any of our plans. Still, don't let anything slip.
I understand. A witch is not to be lightly cast aside, and though he may not have her in his head now, I wonder if it's just a game. Or perhaps she's just making it seem that way for the time being.
Or perhaps he is just a bad person on his own, and he is not to be trusted. To be fair, I do not know. I don't know him. This is all no, I'm learning this through pages of a notebook, so I don't mean to
be
be
fair,
obtuse.
You don't. You don't know him.
Yes.
Now about finding your killer.
He's downstairs, so really we can just hop on down whenever we'd like.
Do we all want to go do that? How do we feel about it? Do we want to go rough up this guy and figure out? I mean, we have pretty solid evidence that this guy, like,
Just kick in the
essentially-
door and just start beating the shit out of him.
I mean, I'm sure he'd let us in because he recognizes us. But we have pretty solid evidence that he's at least involved in the deception of Siegfried and Ileana.
To my
If he's not the killer, like he knows maybe who the killer is.
Yeah, well, there are two things I know for certain. He is the person that wrote me the note describing my condition and saying that we need to work together. And also that he attempted to frame Callie for my murder. Both things are a bit sketchy in their own right. And even if those two things are the only things that are true that we discover, he's still guilty. You know, he's still a liar. So we have rights to believe that he is hiding more.
I will say, if we go right now, I do not have any sort of spells or anything that would be of use in such a circumstance. Not that we necessarily need those.
Yeah, it's just the one guy. Um, uh, Ileana told me specifically that he is not very durable. Uh, I don't know how she got this fact to tell me, but she just made that known. So it won't be much of a fight then if it comes to it.
It
Yeah, I
is
mean,
sometimes
he seems like just a normal guy.
He's
Definitely
just
not going to be a fight for
some
you guys.
guy.
Perhaps you should give it a go then, Dr. Siegfried.
Well, yes, but I don't want to go all by myself. I need backup.
Oh, I'll go with you.
we'll both go.
I
All
I would enjoy watching you rough this non-durable man up.
Yeah.
Uh,
It'd
well, I
be
don't know if I can.
entertaining to watch.
I'm not much for roughing. I thought maybe you could do such a thing. You're a rougher.
Just rough talk, I guess.
Yes, I do a lot of talking. Anyways,
I'm gonna go back to the I'm gonna go back to the drink that I had like half poured and say, whoever's roughing him up, just be sure that he's guilty of what you think he is for doing so.
yeah, well, I'm not saying we go in there, just, murderous intent. We got to get answers first.
Exactly. You lead. We'll follow if we need
You follow my lead. You follow
Yeah.
my vibe, and we'll all end up okay.
I kind of like gestured at Aiken and Father T if they want to come along. Like obviously, the more muscle there, the more.
I'm always up for such a thing. Is it like get my
Yes.
backpack ready?
Does any of you have any questions for me specifically? I thought maybe perhaps this is a lot of information at once, so if you need to check in, feel free.
Logan, did I see his gray figure or his blue figure, or was that just Halem that saw that? Or did
You
Dan
could see-
reveal him a second time?
You could see that he was like roughly like bluish gray. Yeah.
Because Dan revealed him a second time, right?
No, Gold
With
did.
his sword. Or God
Yeah.
damn it, gold.
Yeah.
Yes, he did just the other day. I think.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Because he was like,
that was my only
I'll
concern.
shed a little light on this situation, and then he
Yeah.
was like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I know, and Goal was like, oh, never mind. I thought that was
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
we
much.
saw-
I felt very limp when that happened.
Behold! Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Is he like water Ganase blue, or is it just like what kind of blue is he?
Like dark blue. Definitely not.
Like doppelganger blue.
Fleshy
doppelganger.
alien looking motherfucker blue, not stepping on your water thing. Although I
Good
can speak
news.
your language if you need to do a little code between the two of us.
My language?
Yep.
Good.
Doppelganger blue should be a paint color. Just saying.
It's a nice color.
I guess we'll just like go down a flight of stairs, or like maybe leave the building and go down a flight. I don't know how you would move down.
It's
a
just
floor.
within the building. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like stairs leading down. There's an elevator too.
I'll go down the stairs, and hopefully his residence is easy to find.
It's the whole floor. So yeah. There's just like a single entry point door.
All right.
Seems rich.
All right. We're gonna go like sort of barge in when he opens up. We'll get in there.
Make sure you ask him where your corpse is. I think he could be really helpful.
Ah, right.
That's
Ugh. There's so much to remember. I did not have time to write a list.
This
All
is
right.
why you don't drink before.
I
An
do. Yes,
interrogate.
that's why we're doing this first, so I can continue drinking later today. I'll knock on the door.
Okay. It opens. you see Gregdrin standing there. He's dressed today in just like a loose-fitting white shirt and some like orange trousers.
I have made discoveries
Hey.
reading over the notes last night.
Well, what do you think? Surely it was her, right?
Well, actually, I think I have found the purest evidence that indicts her perfectly. Shall
I
I?
thought you might. You brought the whole crew today.
Yes, come in. We have to. I'm trying to make this announcement in front of them all. Can we come in,
We're
Can
please?
I?
No.
I was gonna. Can I make an insight check to see if he's like nervous at all or anxious?
Yeah, roll an insight check.
Good call.
Like, oh, you all came.
He's aware. Yeah,
He's trying. Don't let him run. Don't let him run.
I got this shit.
14.
14. No, he doesn't seem like overly nervous to you.
Okay.
Could we come in, please?
Of course. Do you need breakfast? Some tea?
Yes, I have not eaten anything today. We had garlic themed breakfast upstairs, so I did not want to partake.
Adamar loves that shit.
Ah, that's crazy. Come on in, guys. Come on in.
Loves it because it's delicious.
What can I make you? I'm sure I can get you something better than that at least.
Oh, just and then I'm gonna like motion us all in.
There's some leftover cheese tarts, I think. I could probably find some of those. One second. I'll just look at... you settle yourself. I'll go back to the kitchen.
No,
You see the
well,
layout's the same.
can I still see him if he's off in the kitchen?
He's like walking toward the door to the kitchen now.
Wait a moment. And I'm gonna like,
Of course.
I'm gonna look at the
Anything
door
else?
and like nod at somebody, like, shut the door.
Yeah, I'm already on it. Like I'm gonna just act like I'm strolling about his apartment, just observing the decorations and
Yeah,
the
you see it's like way
display.
differently decorated than Adamar's. There's like no bookshelves, no chairs, very plain. You see a couple of rugs laid down. It has the feeling of someone who like just moved in and doesn't have furniture for everywhere in their house yet.
I'm definitely gonna like observe any exits and make sure that if he heads for one, I'm gonna be on him in a shit second.
Yeah, I mean, definitely from this room,
that's-
there are the two staircases. There's the door leading to the kitchen and the door you just walked through. So
I am very entertained by all of this, not taking it very seriously. And I'm just going to stand by the door we just walked in and guard it. But I'm just like grinning from ear to ear. And I kind of look at Tiago and I'm like, go ahead. I got the door. I'm kind of like,
Wait, don't go into the kitchen.
sorry.
This news is breaking. Forget the breakfast.
Of course. What do you mean?
Come here. I will show you, and I'll start fumbling with my papers to make it have a reason to stand over here.
Okay. He walks over to you.
So these are the notes you wrote me last night, correct? The different comments you have written under the different
Of course.
series of
Oh,
events.
what?
And if I may, just if I pull off into a side pocket of my own, this right here. This is a note written in Primordial that I
No, I'm afraid I don't read it.
got you. What?
I don't read Primordial. What does it say?
It's It says, can I insight check him to see?
Yeah,
if
roll an
he's
insight check.
Yeah, for real.
Bluffing.
And can I also?
Sure, roll an insight check.
I'm not very insightful. But that is a 16. Yeah,
18.
16.
Okay. Tiago, you notice like when he sees the book pulled out, like his eyes widen a little bit. But he's playing it cool.
And I like look back at the group confused, like what I'm supposed to do next.
I'm just gonna like kind of slow blink and like continue to nod, like to give you confidence. Like, keep going.
The note, the exact contents are not important. However, upon poring over it for many hours, I have come to the realization that the penmanship of the note that I found on my unconscious body when I first awoke is the same handwriting on these notes.
Surely, Dr. Siegfried, you must be joking. You're not even written in the same language.
I can write more than one language.
But how can you compare handwriting between them?
Because I can
Really,
read
listen to
8
yourself.
languages.
I think
I'm
you're just
specialized
getting-
in interlanguage writings. I know the comparisons.
I think you really should have that breakfast.
I'm gonna pull
Your
out
friends are
a
all looking
super
at you funny.
sharp dagger and grab him by the shoulder and say, "In fact, if you look at the text here and there, despite the different language, you can see a similarity in the handwriting, especially." And then I kind of flip the dagger when the writer forgets to dot his I there, and then again there.
In common and
They are
primordial,
very similar.
it's all about the stems.
I see that there are some similarities, but really, you can't be serious.
And I'm gonna like throw the papers down now, like a complete change in tone. I'm gonna say,
You see, he jerks and flexes, but doesn't move because he's still grabbed by
I
Tiago.
don't remember you, and you claim to remember me when I first appeared. You're the last to see us alive, as you yourself have admitted that you've worked on this experiment with us. Now, on the note on my unconscious body was found in your handwriting. What exactly do you know? You know more than you are letting on.
Well, guess the jig's up then.
Aha. Confess, it's not worth resisting.
What you gonna do? Kill me?
It's possible. Crazier things have happened.
Then there's no reason for me to confess, now is there?
I'm
All
going
I'll confess to is basking in the glory of the one that I worship.
Son of a
I'm going to
bitch.
start a slow walk in a circle kind of around everybody. And I'm going to have one of my stars. I'm just going to be like spinning it while it's balanced on a finger in kind of an ominous way. But I'm never going to make eye contact with anybody. Just keep
Great.
slow walking around.
So you admit that you are attempting to frame Callie for your own doing.
You were getting too close.
To
This
what?
machine, it had to be stopped.
It's about the machine. The gods, the Omni Weaver.
They mustn't be released. The Void Dragon provides me as an emissary.
Oh, so that is the one you worship then, is it?
No. I worship all the old ones. As they course their energy through this plane, we collide with theirs.
And I'm gonna look back at specifically Toril here, Father T, to see if he's given me any hints of recognition.
I feel like I would be. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Vincent. I'm a big fan of his work. I thought part of that work included killing the Great Old Ones.
It definitely did.
So
Yeah, it's true.
I thought the Great Old Ones were killed by the great hero Vincent and gang.
One such
And
as this
gang.
cannot be killed. Sure, they may have been separated for a time, removed, but the Void Dragon still flies to this day. And from him, the connection it builds, the energy carries through the ages. As the third age bled away to the demonic hordes Still they amassed their strength, and now I will usher in their coming once again.
So that is why you must stop the god machine.
Your pitiful gods. You were obsessed. You thought that they were the answer to everything, but you were so short-sighted. Thousands of years they plagued this plane, and what do we have to show for it? Destruction. Death. It is time the old ones reclaim what is theirs.
I doubt that your kind has fared very well throughout history. They have probably shown that you have been wrong before, and we'll show you that you are wrong again. So you killed me and Ileana, sent us to the surface. Why? Why didn't you just end our lives there?
You really are short-sighted. That's all the questions I'll be answering. You can kill me if you'd like.
Come on. Don't be foolish. Now you have your reasoning. You are just talking about how you must put a stop to my machine, how you must bring about the energy provided from the old ones, all that. You have your moment to reveal to me why you did such a thing and why I stood in your way and all of that. Now's your time.
There's no need. I've already succeeded. I've convinced Adamar to stay away from the Sky Witch. He'd never follow her teachings again. He's mine. He's ours. You hear like a growl from behind his voice as he says so.
I've been talking to Adamar. God.
A manipulable fool.
Look, I could not at this point care about the old ones, about the gods, about any of this or you. I just want to know closure about my own death that I had to figure out third hand. That's all I want closure on. I don't care about anything else.
I wouldn't say we don't care about anything else.
The only information I would like is
You want to know the truth, Dr. Siegfried?
It's all I want.
You were a test run. Nothing more, nothing less. Kill me now and you'll see the fruits of your labor. You're a guinea pig.
Well, I don't know what you mean. What, you were testing out the program?
I mean that if you slit my throat now, I'll be walking around in a new body by the end of today.
That is unlikely. Because I know where the project is stored. I'll go there and stop you.
Maybe. But probably not.
And plus, it won't be you. It'll be a copy of you that you're condemned to live to. Why would you condemn me to live in a body with another occupant?
Why do you care so much about your own damn story? You're a pawn. You're a plaything. You just started stepping in muddied waters. It was only a matter of time before something reached out and bit you.
I care to know because I no longer care about being a pawn. I don't care about the gods or whatever your goals and motivations are. They don't affect me at all. I just want my own peace for myself.
Well, then enjoy your peace. You've been a part of history. A part of reincarnation. An element toward eternal life. And with my newfound knowledge, I can share my brain with those I most want. You kill me now, and I'll finally have the communion I need.
God, you want to die so badly. I just don't want to give it to you. Where's my body? Where's Ileana's body? Why? Where did you? What did you do with them?
Body? I don't know.
You don't even care enough to recall where you put my own corpse.
You think I killed you myself? I had it done. I was operating the machinery to bring you back.
And drop me on the surface?
Yes.
Why? Why not just keep me around?
Why not?
Well, if you wanted direct results as to how it succeeded, I mean, wouldn't it just make sense to put out a clone of both mine and Ileana's, like, separately, to have two different test runs going simultaneously?
Are you not listening? My brain will be melded with the old ones.
It's not as pleasant as you think.
It's everything I want.
I'm sure. Well, it's only if you die, so, let's keep him alive.
Fine by me. I have work to do anyway.
And I'll look around the rest of you and kind of, like, nod towards him, like, yeah, maybe just,
He has horns, right?
Yeah, he's just tiefling, so he got, like, horns. Top of his head, yeah. Kind
Like-
of curled horns.
Okay. Like ramps.
Yeah, sort of.
I'm going to throw. I'm just going to like throw one of my stars and stick it right in. Isn't going to damage it.
Yeah, it just sticks into one of those horns. Not a problem. He like flinches a little bit.
If Gaul does that, I'm gonna use my little wrist thing to just go like and wrap him up in the cable, basically just to restrain him entirely, grapple him so that he like falls like a caterpillar in a cocoon to the ground.
He looks up toward Goal. That the best you got, Moonwalker?
Well,
Moonwalker.
just tried to hit your eye. I missed.
Lucky for me, then.
You speak of death. So much worse than death. You could take your eyes. You could take your nose. You could take your tongue. You'd live.
And on cue, I'm gonna like slam my war pick blunt side into one of his kneecaps.
Oh,
Not like the front of it, but the side.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes style.
as this is going, as this cacophony of chaos has been let go and happening around me, I'm gonna pull the bottle of booze back out, and now I can relax again, and just watch these guys while they do their work.
He is right, actually. Would be surprised how long a person can stay alive. The mind typically breaks long before the body does. Capable of a lot more than you think.
Well, you probably won't talk after the first kneecap that's broken,
mm-hmm.
and you most likely won't talk after anything of that. So this is probably more for fun.
Yeah.
Listen, Dr. Siegfried, perhaps we could leave them while they commit the various acts of violence and see if he has any personal effects that
No,
more of his research.
no, I'm afraid this time I would like to watch.
Then I will go, and not loving the sight of this, I will put it out of mind as I search for any documents that might explain more of him.
Okay, go ahead and roll investigation check as you look through his things.
How many like levels of his apartment does he have? Like, does he have an upper level staircase somewhere?
Yeah, he has a staircase to a second level. It's just 2 levels.
Nice.
14.
14. Looking around through his things, the apartment is extremely bare. He has like a small bedroom that he seems to sleep in. Uh, and outside that, the only really like interesting thing is that in one of the rooms, he does have like some sort of makeshift altar with these sort of crooked wax candles surrounding some kind of effigy. Looks to be like a small statue.
I topple it.
Is it in the same room?
The
Different room?
same as what?
The monument. Or the memorial. The same
Are
room
we
as
in the
us.
same room?
All right.
Oh
sorry.
no, you're not. It's in like a private little room. You destroy it. Okay, go ahead and roll. What do you just hit it with your staff?
Yeah, I just like bop it a couple times with the bottom to like knock it over and
Bop it.
mess it all up.
Okay, as you smash it all up, you hear a voice in your head say, "It's important that we get that machine built as soon as possible. We need to stop these things. You've done well, really well so far. If you go to the old factory district, there's a grove I planted there a long time ago. Before your time. I made it in such a way that eventually the spores will reach Juracast. There you will find the seeds you need."
I am assuming that this is what's her name?
Mistra.
Yes. It is not just some random voice.
You think so, yeah.
Thank God. All right. I will just wait for the violence to be done then.
Can we
Okay.
hear like the crashing from downstairs?
Oh, no, I mean, it's a pretty small little statue.
Okay.
Do the rest of you guys just kick the absolute shit out of this guy?
Not yet. I mean,
yeah, I think it would be more like methodical than just like beating him up for no reason.
Are you trying to get him to like tell you something?
Yeah, I'm gonna, since with his knowledge for my own personal purpose of his, try to get some insight into his knowledge of one of the elemental planes, preferably, the water one. See if he knows anything of that.
He seems pretty forthright with this information. He's like, yeah, don't hit me with that fucking warping again. He says, many planes all twisted together in a grand sort of interplay of the world. The plane of water, there are places within the sea that overlap it, places you could sail one day from the land of the living directly into the water plane. I don't know anymore.
Interesting. You have something to offer. How about you boys? Any questions? Doctor, any other further insight that you need from our friend here?
Is he grappled by Steven's contraption?
Yeah.
I'm going to walk behind him and take a hold of one of his hands and straighten out one of his index fingers. Hold on to
oh
him.
God.
After going through hand therapy, that was not an easy fix.
Usually I would object to such violence, but it seems very well deserved. And it's not even just me that you've been pissing off, Gregdrin. I'm sure your talk of the old ones and the reviling of the gods upsets a couple of others in the group as well.
Ask your questions, Doctor. We're not here to just have fun.
Well, I'm afraid that he has made his his plans perfectly apparent for us. That if we kill him, he is to forge some sort of relationship with with a deity, forging his mind together with something else. And if we left him alive, then he is going to do other things. Yeah, we need to.
Is that true? And I look to him, making an insight check, hopefully, to see if he has any tells that if he was
Yep.
bluffing or not.
Yes, it's exactly true. There's no point in killing me, but if you do, it only furthers my cause.
So why not take your own life?
An apt question, given the time. There are still some kinks in the system I was hoping to work out, but the timeline has been rushed.
Well, if you would all like to keep him here, I could run over to the lab and put a stop to whatever this resurrection plan he has.
Yeah, you can probably do that. We'll sit here and babysit.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, not meant to keep you all.
Before you leave, who was it that swung the sword? Who was it that killed Ileana and Siegfried? Give us a name.
I'll tell you if you don't go to the lab. Leave me in peace. I won't bother you again.
I think you've already bothered our friend. I think this is the time where you fix that.
I said again! Won't
No.
bother you again.
No, actually, I would like to know this information is worth it to me.
Swear it.
On?
Whatever.
You're in no point to negotiate right now. I'm going to take one of the points of the stars, and I'm going to start to pry it underneath his index fingernail.
Gold,
Listen!
please.
What?
If you provide the information, your death could be swift. If not, may not even be guaranteed. Just tell us what we need to know.
Look, I swear. Alright? I need to know who did it.
He nods and just kind of like looks over his shoulder to Goal. Do you stop torturing him?
Yeah, I take away the pressure of the
I
point.
thought you meant like he was saying Goal killed me for a second there. I was real worried about that.
God.
Oh, God.
Surprise!
It's a assassin in town. Isemnin Zylrel. But if you're gonna go after him, be prepared.
How so?
He's a killer. It's his job. He's good at it.
And so you paid him to kill me?
Yes. But at least I gave you another life. You and Ileana.
I appreciate it, yes, of course.
You just couldn't be convinced to stop meddling in the gods.
Well, you have got your wish. In one way or another. Because right now, I have no aspirations towards the gods. I just hate you.
That's better for everyone. Listen, you'll have a better life now.
Oh yeah, how so?
when you were investigating the guards, the people that I work with had a lot of problems with you, and you had a lot of problems with them. It led to a good deal of trouble for you. That won't happen anymore. Stay away from the guards, and you can do whatever you'd like.
No, well, perhaps you're right.
As I said, we were friends, in a way.
Oh, so that is one part of your story you were not fibbing about.
No, we worked together. As close friends. I told you 1,000,000 times. 100,000,000 times. Just do anything else. Anything else. I had to go the hard way, I suppose.
And the hard way was to pay to have me killed. Some friend you were. You know, it's a bit of a blessing that you sent me down to the surface. Because I met a couple of other fellows like myself. And throughout my time with them, I have thought that they have been actively stopping my goals. Or perhaps meddling in my affairs negatively. But it is only now that I realize that they do not negatively impact me even a fraction as much as you do. You see that man next to you with the ninja star into your fingernail? He's pointed a sword at me before in anger with murderous intent. Yeah, but at least he didn't do it. And now he's here.
I'm gonna reach up and grab my star that's stuck in one of his horns and kind of yank it out.
Is there a moral to this story?
Yeah, you fucking suck. I'm out of here. I'm going to the lab.
You're what?
I'm going to the lab to put a stop to your clone program. You know, the thing I just swore I wouldn't do.
Ileana and Siegfried's bodies, where are they? I'm gonna put like my actually I'm gonna pull my rapier out like full length, and I'm gonna put the weight of the blade on his chest.
I'm gonna like push you back. I'm gonna push you back and say, he needs a break. He needs a break. Are you thirsty at all, Gregdorin? You want some tea?
No, what? If I knew where his bodies were, I would tell you. Like I said, it's an assassin. He probably disposed of them. I don't know. You look more like an assassin than I. You tell me, what would they do with the bodies?
Oh, don't guilt trip now.
I'm thirsty for one. Where's your kitchen at? As I'm like walking into the other room.
He doesn't respond.
Is it this one? And I like hit my hammer on the wall.
Where was Ileana when she was killed, and Siegfried? Do you even know that?
No. I
You
gave
said
him a
this
time.
assassin
That's it.
is in the. You said this assassin is in the town, in this city.
Yes.
Where?
He usually is at the 5 to 9. If you show up, just ask. Ask for their darkest lager. It usually gets their attention.
I'm gonna look to Goal like I would love very much to put my blade through his chest. Although it seems keeping him alive might buy us some time. What do you want to do?
Mm.
Can
When
I
it
come back
comes
with a
back-
glass of water?
When he comes back with water, I'm gonna put my leg behind his legs and gently but forcefully just shove him, basically sweeping him to where he's gonna fall and land on his back.
He does.
You do look thirsty.
Oh God.
That's what I was thinking.
God,
Here, hold on. And I hold the cup actually trying to give him a drink of water, like barely put it to his mouth so he can start drinking it.
Okay, he drinks it.
I'm gonna then use shape water cantrip and then have it cycle through his mouth and nose over and over and over and over and
Oh
over
my
again.
God.
A mix of saliva and then mucus just mixing back and forth.
He looks uncomfortable.
I would hope so.
He's
I would
trying to
even
spit it out as
have
best he can.
questions? What questions do you want to ask him? I want to know about the old gods. I want to know everything that he knows about them. What threat they stand to this realm, to every realm. That's what I want to know about.
Then I make him swallow it.
Oh,
You drink it all.
mucusy. Ugh.
God.
I go back to the kitchen and if I don't know what the water method is. If they have faucet, if they have tap.
Do they have plumbing in this world? That's
Yeah,
that's
they
impressive.
do.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Way to go,
Yeah, he was
I'll
here.
have
Jorcast.
to.
Dude, we're in Joracast.
We're flying around. We
right.
still
Think
got
they don't have
plumbing. That's rad.
That's just poop.
I have
falling
to.
off
I
of-
have to admit, his techniques are unexpected. That's not something I've ever seen before. If you want this to end, then you should tell us everything you know about these old gods. What do they want? What do they plan to do? Tell us everything, and I can make this end for you. It's what you want, right?
Yes.
Can I show him the blade? Like, that's what you're after, isn't it? An escape.
Well,
You're ready.
if your friend is going to destroy my way of coming back, then I would really rather you not kill me. I'll tell you everything I know. But I warn that it's not as much as you might hope. The old gods were once prominent on this plane. They were removed. And they tried to come back 2 different times. Neither time were they successful. The Omni-Weaver was the gateway to some sort of energy that was used to stop them from returning, but has since been twisted and is now used by the Majocracy. They twist the ley lines to their own advantage, pumping magic from the Weaver itself, and it lightens the veil that holds the worlds apart. This is what your friend was going to stop. He was going to release the gods. The gods were going to, I don't know exactly, they prevent this weakening of the veil. I am a pawn for their bidding. I hoped to bring their consciousness into my body as a way to elevate myself, to understand their plans more clearly. They think on a time scale and in ways that don't make sense to mortals like us. They're the true creators of this realm. And they will have it back one day.
Oh, you have hot tea in here?
My God, what would that look like? Speak quickly. What would the old gods taking control of this realm again? What would that look like for the everyday citizen of Inzarda or Joracast? Describe it thoroughly.
Well,
You're short-sighted. You're not looking. The gods and the Majocracy have led this world to ruin. It's the old ones who will reinvigorate it. Bring it back to some semblance of control. I don't know what that will look like, but it can't be as bad as today. The Void Dragon has already done what he can, bleeding the earth of its sunlight, bring about a new dawn. Your moonwalker should know.
What do you know, Goal? What's he talking about?
I'm not sure. Speak.
The blade you carry. Speaks to me. Whispering. You don't hear it.
I'm gonna unsheath it.
It like glows and rears back from it.
I'm gonna put the tip of it up to his bottom lip. What does it tell you?
That you are the Moonwalker. You're the one to break the veil. This passage between worlds. It is with this blade that you will find the keyhole. At the time of the veil's unfolding, you will open the door.
Is the blade the key?
Yes. How did you get it?
I found it.
It found you.
Perhaps.
So Goal is the one who will break the veil and allow the old ones to come back.
The Moonwalker. He will open the gateway, yes.
I'm gonna rest the tip of my saber against his chest, and I don't know if anyone
How many
else.
swords must there be pointed at me?
Oh yeah, I forgot his sword was already pointed. 2. I mean, I'm fine with. I'm satisfied. If I'm gonna look to Goal and Aiken if he comes back in the room. I mean, I'm satisfied with the information he's provided. If killing him is what we want to do, or if we want to bind him and tie him up to buy us time. Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the lab to try to see if I can put a stop to his resurrection protocols.
Yes,
That's a good point. We should catch up with him.
You get to the front of the lab here.
Do I see that notice, that illustration about Ileana?
Not on the outside of the lab, no.
Okay. As I go in, I'm gonna cast Disguise Self, and I will just make myself look like Gregdrin. I just want like a little coffee stain on my shirt, or like a little tea stain, and I just want to kind of look annoyed and like in a hurry as I'm trying to walk into the lab.
Okay. You get a few like nods, but no one really says anything to you.
And then I'll go over to the elevator.
Okay.
And go to the floor in which he showed earlier.
The very bottom floor, you go down there. The elevator like stops a few times. People get on, people get off. No one says a word to you. You reach the area with the many bodies aligned, ready for the transfer, you assume.
And then I'm gonna just start. I'm gonna go over to the device. I want to go to try to figure out where it's like manned from. See if I can find the memory, the transference. You know, the part that plugs your consciousness into a body. You know, what stores it. Trying to find that location.
Sure, roll an intelligence check.
would I think that this is reasonably a series of intelligence-based activities that I would be participating in?
Yes.
Okay. Beforehand, as are all things in life solved by, I'm going to do some drugs in the elevator
Yes.
that I made, of course. And I'm going to cast the spell. Uh, uh, um, enhance ability.
Mm.
And I'm gonna. God, where's my phone? Where's my phone? I had the spell description somewhere. Oh, there's. I'm gonna cast enhance ability on myself with the intelligence option. And it says I can bestow a creature, whatever. It's concentration for up to an hour. Disguise self is in concentration, so don't have to worry about that. And I will do strength, dexterity, charisma, intelligence. There we go. Fox is cunning, and I will expand my mind with these hallucinatory drugs, and in doing
All
so,
right.
have advantage on intelligence checks.
Nice.
Okay.
You do.
So what am I doing? Just intelligence?
Yep.
Alright, that's a good thing. I rolled advantage because I got a 2 and a 19, plus my intelligence modifier is going to be 23.
Okay. Yeah, you're easily able to find like the central hub. It's the same sort of location where you'd been working as Ileana yesterday, though you don't remember that.
Right. And I'm just going to try to...
And
Go ahead.
just going through it, I will say that it is clear to you now that there is this other entity's consciousness associated with the system. That like if he were to join into a body, there would be another consciousness added in as well.
Can I tell if that's Gregdrin's?
No, you think it's not. You think that it is probably this, elder god.
Oh,
that
it's
he
the
wants to
elder god,
commune
not
with
him. I'm gonna essentially try to like highlight all that. I'm gonna
Delete
click on that
files.
section of that file and delete it. Empty the recycling
Okay.
bin.
Roll another intelligence check.
Oh no. 12.
Okay, 12. It seems in some way integrated with the magic of the system. It's like the system was designed for this purpose. Like you'd think you'd have to just destroy the entire thing to prevent it from being involved.
God. I really got okay. I'm gonna do that then. I'm gonna try to find the factory reset button to.
Okay.
Well, shit. Can I find the data banks of like my and Ileana's personalities and memories and everything?
Roll an intelligence check.
15.
15. There is data that is like included that appears to be both you and Ileana's.
I just can I maybe like put that on an external storage device?
On a thumb drive.
Yeah, it was
You
like
think,
a flash drive.
like, from what you're understanding by looking at it, it's like also integrated into the system. So like to remove it,
I would have to remove it.
you can't, right? You can't remove it while keeping the system intact.
Well, there's no way I'm gonna fucking destroy everything with the last remnants of my own mind in this device. And I'm gonna continue working for the hour that my mentally expanding hallucinatory drugs that I am taking work. I'm going to attempt to remove either like Gregdrin's ability to sort of shove himself into this device, and that weird elder god being that I see in here.
Okay, roll another intelligence check.
Okay, 21.
Okay, you are able to prevent the system from uploading anything. Like you can prevent it from uploading Gregdrin full time forever. You can just turn
Full
it off
stop.
basically. But the information is still there on this elder god as well as on you and Ileana. Though I will say that you think that if you were to find the source of this information, you could like destroy it. So you think there's probably somewhere something that is, sending this consciousness to this platform. And if there was some way that you could destroy that thing,
Do
perhaps you could remove
I
it from the system.
know how to find such a thing? Does it have...
Definitely not.
Okay. Well then, if I have the restrictions placed on Gregdrin,
Mm-hmm.
I will consider my work here done.
I will say that you also find that it is still uploading information about you,
That's
like live
weird.
feed.
I don't like that. Wait, what is it? How does it like look? Like, how does it display the information of my like thoughts?
It doesn't really. I mean, it's like magically uploaded, so it's not like a computer screen. It's more like a magical flow of energy from you to this
Right.
thing.
Cool.
And it seems as though if you were to die, you would also respawn here as like one of these things.
Oh, it's actually it's pretty helpful. I may have to use that later to get out of a pinch. Is there anything on here about the day that I was killed and my consciousness was uploaded?
Roll an intelligence check.
I tend to do a lot of those. 16.
It describes the event to some detail, like it gives like details on like the time and the place of the upload, but besides that, there's nothing.
Okay. So there's some
It's
sort
clear
of...
that it was tampered with to have your memories not reinstated in your brain.
So it's some
As far
sort
as
of... There's an external thing that's sending this data to this location.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's still receiving data from you as well.
Yeah. Well, I believe my work here is done, and if it's not, we'll find out later. So I'll go back at this point.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing? Are you killing him?
Nah. Well, Aiken won't at least. I think after Tiago says, I think this will suffice, Aiken and Proteus will just make themselves at home in his apartment.
Okay, you
Just
do.
sit down and watch.
The other three of you, what are you guys doing?
I mean, I feel like. Go ahead, Will.
I was just gonna say I emerged from the upstairs.
Mhm.
Look at this like pulp of a man on the floor. I just sort of half-heartedly kick him as I walk past. I say, I know where we can find the seed. Uh, does anyone care to come with me to the outer layer?
I think it's a good idea. I think this guy seems more dangerous dead than alive, believe it or not. Perhaps we just bind him, gag him, and buy us some time. And I'm just gonna like start binding him as best I can so that it would take him days to escape if he tried, and I'll gag him as well. Just to because I don't know if we kill him, if he's just gonna come right back or what. So
Yeah, I'll say that, at some point during this, Dr. Siegfried returns.
okay.
So, Dr. Siegfried, you could probably explain the situation if you'd like.
Yeah, I think I have prevented it from happening. I think the system I did not design. It's a bit more magical than technological, so I'm not positive in my endeavors.
So does that mean you want to kill him or?
It means I do not care.
You couldn't destroy it, could you?
I could not identify what it is, and thus it's hard to remove. But
You could have destroyed the whole thing.
I could have, but someone decided that I should not be alive, and so now my aliveness is due to that file. so I can't just remove it. Look, I do not need to justify myself. Especially not to you.
No, you do not. So, what'll it be? You killing me?
I suppose that depends. Do you want to live, or do you wish to die?
I would like to live.
Yet, you didn't give Ileana or Siegfried that opportunity, did you?
I gave them a new life. The best I could do under the circumstances.
I just look to Ileana. It's not my life to take.
Well,
Sorry, Siegfried. I look to Siegfried.
if you ask me, I think that since you are so gung-ho at removing others' abilities to live, that you should have yours revoked as well.
What did we decide the lunar cycle was?
Good question.
I think it was like a waxing something.
Crescent, maybe.
It's not a new moon, though.
Yes, it's only been a day, huh?
No, I'm in a day, yeah.
I made a joke that my favorite was a waxing gibbous, and so it wasn't a waxing gibbous.
Let's keep him alive until the new moon, and then
Why?
change his
What?
allegiance. I'm surprised you don't know. You seem to know so much about this blade that Goal possesses. Something in the scriptures on the stone there, I think, said something about a new moon. What was a Goal?
He doesn't need to know. Just tie him and gag him.
All right, I'll tie him well, like super well, if I can, as best I can.
So what, you're gonna come force feed me once a day?
No. You can survive without water for up to 3 days, and then I'll gag him. What's this guy's name? Do we need to come feed every 3 days?
Gregdrin.
I got egged in.
There's somewhere to store him out of sight. Maybe with his altar. I would assume that he probably kept that a little bit out of sight.
It's like in a closet.
As long as it's sufficiently destroyed, I think I'd put him in there. It's hidden.
You see like a look of horror come across his face when he sees like his altar destroyed.
While I was gone, did he mention any other new information do with the old gods or whatever that whole situation is?
Doesn't seem good. I'm not super religious, but I don't know much about the old gods, but my thought is we find this seed, we find your assassin and killer, perhaps find where your bodies are at. See what Father T can do for us.
And we build that machine. And I look at
And we build.
Siegfried.
Oh, are we building the machine now?
Well, do you have all the parts?
No, but I'm like really in the mood for it. But I'm coming down right now a bit, so.
Either way, we need to get the shield first. That is first and foremost. The machine can come later.
Do we know the location? Have we talked to anyone yet?
There is a grove in the district.
Which one? Which district?
Do I know where this is, or is it's just somewhere out there?
I mean, it's in the the old industrial district. What do you call it? The old factory district.
Yeah. Old factory.
But you don't know where.
if you have any description, we could ask the hairy people if they know. They may have an idea.
All
I
right.
mean, we've rested, right? We could just literally make our way there, just head out that direction.
All right. Is that what you guys are doing?
Sure.
All right. As you make your way out onto the streets of Jorkost for the first time today, well, I suppose at least Dr. Siegfried had been out one previous time this morning. You see people wandering about, seem to be enjoying their day. It is a Saturday, so it's like a weekend for them, which they seem to be enjoying.
Try to lay low. I'm no longer in my Gregdrin disguise as to not alert anyone. While we're out, if I can sort of peek at any point over to the place we were yesterday to see if my steel defender is in the vicinity, I will keep an eye out for it, but I won't go over there to provoke attention if there's any more guards over there, which I assume there will be.
Yeah, you do not see any sign of your steel defender. Damn. I will say, as you're wandering through, you guys do notice the same individual who sort of was watching you yesterday, just sort of off in the distance, seems to notice you all walking around. Kind of ducks into an alley when he sees you.
Goal, the affliction only happened when you looked him in the eyes, right?
Indeed.
So we shall keep our distance.
Probably wise.
We will try.
Completing the rest of the journey out to the old factory district, you start to get to this area where it's this almost unnatural looking like line that like outlines the old factory district, and it seems like maybe plants are just not tended beyond a certain point, because there's like basically one street you go from like modern, city life to just like this overrun, ruined, kind of beat down and overtaken by plant life old factory district. And as you cross into it, there's almost a shift in the air as well. It feels a little bit off, a little bit wrong. You don't know if it was all the different like chemical and alchemical experimentation they were doing in this area, or perhaps something deeper, something more unsettling than that even. But as you move into the area, you start to, basically enter this garden, this jungle that's overtaken this part of the city. With that, can someone roll me a 1d6, please?
Father T, I feel like you should roll. This is your grove we're looking for.
Six.
Perfect.
All right. Second, 6.
He rolled a 6. It's either really good or really bad.
Okay. As you are moving through this sort of cramped undergrowth, there's a few times where like you come across like an old multi-story building that the top's just cleaved off and like burnt and destroyed. You can see the plants just like growing up, the vines entangling the former city here. And it's actually in one of these larger structures that you see a number of interconnected bridges seeming to have been built, string together like the old ruins. It kind of looks like a skeleton of a building that's still standing, connected by all these intertangled bridges and even some like trees built in that are now housing, which some of you would notice are hare folk. And wandering around, you see a bunch of little bunny guys.
Oh, nice.
Hair folk.
Very cool.
I thought it was
folk.
just like,
Those things are awesome.
I thought it was like beings of hair, just like clumps of them.
That's what I thought.
Like
H-A.
hair.
Nope.
A-I-R. Yeah, not, okay, I see how it is.
Not ARE.
They look like a bunch of little bunnies.
That is a lot less concerning, because honestly, a bunch of clumps of hair is a little gross looking.
Yeah, no, these are not gross at all. They're
Pube
cute little.
people.
Ew. Hair folk, pube people, what's the difference, you know?
Pube people. Pube gremlins.
Those are synonyms.
Fair enough.
Father?
Excuse me,
How
hair people.
You see, like one of them sort of like perk his ears up and like turn toward you.
I am looking for a grove with plants like this, and I scramble through the notebook and hold up a drawing. Have you seen such a thing?
Yes, of course. It's an area that's bad, very bad, dangerous to go.
What is so bad about this area?
Things are different there. They don't work the same. The world is scary. There are beasts and creatures.
Can you point me in the direction? I should very much like to go there.
Of course. It the place of a cult to a goddess, Mistra.
Yes, that is the one.
The goddess. She destroyed the entire district. Why would you want to go there?
I think she left something for me there.
Oh. Okay. It's that way. He like gestures in a direction.
I appreciate your help. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you in the future. And I will start walking.
Okay. You begin moving your way in that direction. And it's not too long before you see this sort of toppled statue. At this point, you're pretty deep within the gardens, an area that you've probably never just like wandered to. And you see this like half overgrown sculpture, the head of it just like glancing up at the sky, but now like plants like grow up onto the side of it. The body of it crumbled into several pieces. It looks like it was once probably several 100 feet tall, just pure, granite sculpture. And Toril, you'd probably recognize that this was once a statue to your grandfather that was overgrown through the years and has since toppled and been overtaken by plant life. And is actually on this head of your grandfather that you see these like vines and interwoven plants where a few of these plants they are looking for are growing.
That's the one. Let's go get a clipping.
Wait, can I do an investigation to see if like there's any traps? If like the statue itself is a trap?
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
Or if it's toxic or the plant itself is dangerous.
Yes. Oh, not one. Nice.
Okay, doesn't seem dangerous.
Okay, go ahead. Doesn't seem dangerous.
Great. I will go over and try and collect a few. I will try and collect some soil samples. I will also try and collect some clippings from the plant, and most importantly, I would like to try and collect a few seeds.
Okay. Moving over in that direction, you all see as Toril gets close to the proximity of these plants, it seems to affect him. He'll move really slowly, then really quickly, and then slow down again. It's like the time around him is operating differently than the time that you are currently experiencing. As you approach the plants, you see that the statue itself has a hole in it. And looking down, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
22. 22. 2.
Okay, 22. Looking into the inside of the statue, you see this almost laboratory-like setup. that seems to have been destroyed. It looks like a grand botanist laboratory. And it's clear now as you investigate it that from inside this, basically the head of the statue, this plant life exploded outward. And looking around, you can sort of see the way that the plant like radially distributes from here. That this was some sort of quasi-intentional act. And you think that this may have even been what spawned this, overgrowth of plant life that took over this old factory district within the city. And you see how like these plants that you're interested in are like at the epicenter of it. Like this was some sort of intentional event, potentially planned by Mistra long ago, before her being locked away, so as to get you these seeds. Who knows the danger and, potential bloodshed that may have come about, but all in the effort to get these plants to you at the right time.
Well, mission accomplished.
Yes. And you arrive at a time when, just by looking at them, it looks like the plants are perfectly ripe for picking.
This is really all working out for us.
A lot of smart people thought a long time about how to get these seeds to you. It seems that they have succeeded.
Great. Well, then I will grab all the samples I can possibly take.
Okay.
I will put them in my extra-dimensional chest.
Very nice. In that case, you can write down in your inventory that you have 10 temporal nodes.
Uh-oh. Those are dangerous if given to the wrong hands.
Yes, and that is why they will not be leaving my hands.
Or your fancy chest.
True. Dr. Siegfried, you mentioned needing a shrub?
Yeah. Any shrub, really.
There are a great many shrubs around.
Like a shrub or like a seed?
A shrub. I think. I don't know, can it be a seed?
I think either one would work, but a shrub would be quicker because it's already a grown shrub.
It says, the pot of
Yes,
waking.
but
If
you
you
could
plant
use one of these temporal nodes to make a little plant person.
Oh, hell yeah. So it says if you plant an ordinary shrub. Now, if we just plant a seed in there and see how it goes.
I mean, are you thinking of planting one of these seeds? I would classify these as not an ordinary shrub. These are not an ordinary shrub.
Well, when you start phrasing it like that.
Yeah.
That is
We will make a little time warping plant monster.
I really, thought maybe that would help us out of a few jams, but yeah, just give me a regular shrub then, I guess. I don't know, pick one of your favorites.
All right, you just select a random shrub.
Yeah, and then I'll plant it in this 10-pound clay pot and let it grow for 30 days.
Okay. It begins its growth process. What do you do with it? I mean, you can't have it in the bag of holding.
Oh shit, I can't?
Well, it needs like sunlight.
Oh.
And water.
Oh fuck. God damn it. This is so much work.
Maybe you could put it on the back of your Steel Defender.
I don't have a Steel Defender. I lost him. I can't keep track of a robot. I can't keep a plant alive. I'll carry the 10-pound pot
Adamar
around.
has a garden. You could probably
Fuck
put it in the
Adamar. I
garden.
don't want none of this. I don't want his hands all over my shrub.
Fair enough.
I'm carrying it for
with
now.
That, having reclaimed the temporal nodes from Mistra, and finding out a lot more about what exactly happened to Dr. Siegfried and Ileana on their way here, we're going to pick up there next time.
straight up got assassinated. You know how it
Nice.
be.
Yeah, stepping
Pretty
on some
cool.
toes there.
That was fun,
Greggen
guys.
flipped on a dime.
I gotta
He
go.
really went for the evil Bond villain real quick.
Well, I didn't think you'd find out this quick.
Oh.
I mean,
That was a
I
nice
should have
match.
just shot and killed him. I can't believe I wasted my Fates card.
should
Should
have
have
shot
just
and
killed him.
That's true.
Well,
damn
then
it.
you wouldn't have known. I mean,
Yeah, and then he would have
he wouldn't
fused with a
have fused.
deity or whatever he's doing.
I was gonna say then he would have just respawned
Yeah.
with the deity inside of him.
Damn
So
it.
It worked out really well.
Why'd he
Plus, I
sound
gotta
the
say,
alarm
like,
on me
it
if I...
feels-
What a dick.
I'm glad that we all have common goals that are kind of aligning. You know, feels like we're meshing pretty good. So.
I'm also glad that when I need, like, someone to be physically threatened for information, that the three of you guys gets, like, just go for it. It's like, you guys all
Yeah.
made for it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a cool session. That was cool. All right, I gotta bounce though. I gotta go to bed, guys.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Good game.
What the
I'm with
hell?
you guys.
What the heck?